Something you need to know. You need to quit shopping online. And we'll tell you why. Ah, yes. It's that time again. Time for another episode of
Need knowledge, no time.
Or NKNT. And it has been quite the week. We had a little vacation.
We did.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Mhm.
So, US, Iran, Israel, all that war again.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won the NBA. Oklahoma. The country kids won
Woohoo!
the urban game.
I know 2 people from Oklahoma and they're absolutely wonderful. So good
That's
for
why
that
we
team.
were going for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
State of Origin. Woo, what a game.
Yeah. That
Game
was
2 was
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so there will be a Game 3 episode for sure. Not completely about State of Origin, but it will feature definitely.
And for any listeners who don't know what we're saying when we're saying State of Origin, we're talking about rugby league in Australia when the 2 big rugby league states verse each other. Queensland, New South Wales. Maroons versus Blues.
The best series of the year by far.
Yeah.
But let's talk about today. So, what are we talking about today? Google is up to their sneaky ways again. And they're on trial, a class action lawsuit. We'll get into that.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Oh, Google. The worst. We're going to talk about the worst drivers in Europe because we had our little trip to Greece, so we were on the roads a lot.
Just told me about this one. So I don't know his opinion on it, but I was like, oh no, this is controversial.
So are you part of the worst drivers in Europe? We'll see. And then finally, we talk about.
Now I was just thinking about the stuff I need to buy only online.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
It's fact. You
All
cannot
right.
buy.
Well, I need this knowledge and I have no time.
All right. Run the intro.
In a world where time and knowledge is everything, join those who have the edge. A podcast where both come together to give you everything you need, you lazy parasite. Be the guy. Only with Need Knowledge, No Time. A podcast that will limitless your flippin' brain.
You done looking at your pants? Okay, let's get into it. First of all, Google.
Yeah. What has Google done?
The Google lawsuit. All right, what's going on? A class action lawsuit in California representing 14 million Android users alleges that Google continues to collect and transmit user data even when their Android phones are powered off, using it to serve ads, reportedly draining users' cellular data.
Even when your phone is off?
Even when your phone is off.
Wow.
Now, it's not surprising that they're listening to us when our phone is off. Like, we all know this now, right?
Yeah.
Leech it. Just like that. But, okay, why it matters, and then we can talk about what we think. So why it matters. If Android phones aren't truly off, users may never fully stop data collection. Billions in damages are at stake, not just settlements, but possibly setting new limits on data usage by devices by default. A California judge has allowed the case to proceed to trial, which will start in Santa Clara and take 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 3 to 4 years.
So I just want to explain this because it's not just about people taking your data. Because we often talk about how we're not using our phones much on the internet and our data is just being sucked away and then we need to pay for more data.
Let's just clarify, when you're talking about data now, you're not actually talking about our personal information. You're talking about the amount of like gigabytes or megabytes we're allotted each month by our telephone providers.
Exactly. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah, the point is because we already know that they're always listening, they're always using our data.
Yeah.
They're sucking away the data that you pay for.
Yes. Okay.
So you want to be on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, but your cap will be reached quicker because even when your phone is off, Google is sucking away that data, sending information back and forth.
This is super interesting because you have an iPhone and I have an Android phone. We buy the same amount of credit from the same provider. And I have I use that data so fast. Like it can go in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I have switched off my location services. I've switched off using social media when I'm not on Wi-Fi. I don't watch YouTube. I'm not like the heavy data usage. I'm not using those things. And always I finish it before you. And you will often not even finish yours before like the next turnover month has come.
No. Well, I would have assumed that Apple would have done something similar, but then there would be class actions against them as well.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
mean,
maybe you're right.
So it's interesting it's Android users. It could be something else completely, but at least hearing that news report, there's definitely a correlation because I have that problem.
So now the Android versus the iPad debate, iPhone debate. This will help. Will help with the iPhone users. But then, yeah, go ahead.
Well, just to say, I don't have a problem. No. What is the operating system of an iPhone? Is it Apple?
iOS.
iOS. Like, I don't mind iOS as a system. I just don't want to be forced into having to buy an iPhone. Because with Android, you can buy so many different phones. That's what I like. I love all of these Chinese phones. I want to buy those phones, but I'd be fine if it was on iOS. This is a sidetrack.
Do you want to hear Google's defense?
Yes, yes.
This is standard industry practice. Doesn't mean it's right. Jeez.
That's a good point. So maybe
Okay.
Apple does it too. Yeah.
And this is ridiculous, but so like, the people with the money. The firm also highlights that if cellular data isn't legally property, there's no grounds for theft or conversion claims. In a digital age, how could you not say it was legal property?
I don't know. Do I own those gigabytes that I buy from Vivacom? I feel like I don't own them because at the end of the month, they're forfeit. I never get to keep them.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
maybe
That's true.
that's a very, very simple way of putting it. But yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about something a little more fun. So we did go on.
So the upshot of that is it starts. Did you tell us when it starts? I know you said it will go for like 4 to 6 weeks. It's in Santa Clara.
I can't find it now,
Okay.
but yeah, I think I did.
So it'll be interesting to hear what the upshot is or how it progresses. Yeah. Alrighty.
But by then we'll have moved on. That's the point of this show. Need knowledge, no time, and then we move on. Okay? So now let's move on to the next subject.
Yeah.
The worst drivers in Europe. Now this is fact. Number one.
I really don't want to touch this subject.
Are you one of these drivers? Number one, Audi. Number two, BMW. Number three, Mercedes.
For some reason in my head, I heard this as the countries with the worst drivers. So you were going to say, for example, French are the worst drivers or Romanians are the worst drivers, but you're talking about the car.
The car, the make of the car. I should have clarified that. I thought I did.
Okay. I could have heard it wrong, but nonetheless, okay, it's about the make of the car. Okay,
anyway,
so
what I just said then is completely my opinion. It's not the facts. I was just pretending here. I actually do have the facts.
Fact.
Yeah, it's my fact. Audi, the worst. BMW, Mercedes. There is a worse category, but they're not a make of vehicle. It's delivery drivers. Terrible, terrible. Anyway, so I asked AI and it couldn't give me like a Europe-wide picture,
Okay.
but it goes by insurance claims. The best I could get was Latvia. Like, the best information correlated between makes was Latvia, so I could use that. Let's just use that as a broad Europe.
I don't understand. Latvia what? What is it about Latvia that you're saying?
I could get the facts Latvia-wide.
Not
okay. Europe-wide.
Okay,
and I have some
Latvia.
Spain and UK observations. Actually, there was one really interesting one about the UK.
Okay.
So, the worst drivers in Latvia 2022, based on insurance data.
Yeah.
BMW. The second one surprises me. Mitsubishi. And then number 3, Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
So my Audi's not up there. Maybe Latvians don't like to buy
Audis. Could be.
I'm
Could
still
be.
right. Like, despite this.
I hope at some point you're going to give us your reasons to why Audi drivers, Mercedes drivers, BMW drivers are the worst.
Observation.
Yeah, but what have you observed them doing?
I'm a student of life and I see their terrible driving.
Okay, but we need to know, what is your definition of terrible driving? Like, what are some of the things that those drivers do?
Do not know how to indicate.
Okay.
The only time the lights come on is
Uh-huh.
when they park terribly and then put the hazard lights on. That's what they think they're for. They're not for turning left or turning right. They're for doing that. And also when they're zooming up on the motorway
Uh-huh.
and they want everyone to get out of the way,
Mhm.
then they'll click on that left indicator to be
Okay.
like, get out of the way. And then they'll celebrate with the high beams.
Okay. All right. So that's one thing. Can you tell us another thing?
What is another thing?
I'm wondering if this is one, is that they ignore the queue.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if
they do
there's
this.
like the queue to turn left or whatever it is, and this probably doesn't apply in countries where they have much stricter road rules that are enforced. But here, there'll be a queue, everyone's waiting to turn left, it's only one lane, and these drivers will pull into a lane which is not designated for going left, and they'll cut in front.
Terrible.
Oh, no.
Terrible. And it happens between the Bulgaria-Greek border, when there
Okay.
was a border.
Yeah, yeah.
You will get these, mostly Mercedes, but anyone who thinks they have a nice European car will drive up the side of the queue to go through the border and just indicate to push in.
Yeah.
Or just push their nose in. And the border officials let them do it.
Let them do that.
In Australia, that's criminal.
That's grounds for road rage.
Oh.
Legitimate road rage. Not
righteous
violent.
indignation. Smash their windows.
Yeah. Okay,
All
wait. Can I have a third thing? A third thing that those drivers do that qualifies them as worse drivers.
They drive cars. And they just shouldn't.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't have a third. They're just
I'm
terrible.
feeling like maybe they speed.
All around. Yes, they speed.
Yeah.
All around. I've decided, like, I give them a pass now.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe they haven't learned to drive. And I'm not talking about Europe-wide here. I'm just talking about where we live, where I'm not going to mention, but I think you'll figure it out.
Said it before.
Okay, Spain and the UK, all right? Premium performance brands like BMW, Porsche, Volvo, Audi, and Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, these ones are reported as mostly having accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, in the UK, this is super interesting. Data from insurers suggests that electric vehicle drivers file claims more often than non-electric vehicles.
So I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Maybe they're more conscientious.
No, they're crashing more. That's what it's saying. They're claiming more.
Okay.
So
well,
maybe they're relying
maybe
too much on self-parking, that it parks and it dints it or something.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like maybe they're in the supermarket and they come out and they see that someone has scratched the car or there's a dent in the back or something, and they're making an insurance claim about it because they're conscientious people, as opposed to like you and I, if we came out and we saw that on our car, we'd be like, oh well.
Yeah. But if you saw our car, you would know why.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if I was driving a nice EV, I wouldn't like scratches on it either. I'd be claiming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
So, by like a flow of the podcast episode here, the last point should have maybe went in the middle because it's along the lines of like shady deals like the Google thing. But I feel like it's possibly the most interesting and important for all of us. That's why I pushed it to the end.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you remember what I said about stop online shopping?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there's many ways of pricing, different ways of pricing. Like we know that you need to turn on your private browsing if you're searching for flights, because they know that if you're getting desperate, they'll put the prices up, things like that. There's a new thing being called surveillance pricing. It's not so new, actually. They've been doing it, but maybe you don't know about it. Companies are using personal data like location,
Yeah.
browsing history, income, race,
Yeah.
shopping habits,
Yeah.
IP address, and even mouse movements
Yeah.
to change different prices to different people for the exact same item or service.
It just should be illegal. Like, I don't understand how that's even legal. Imagine if you went into the supermarket and they had like 3 different prices for the apple based on what you did for work or how often you came to the supermarket.
Crazy. So I'll read the next sentence just to clarify, okay? So it differs from traditional dynamic pricing, which we were talking about before, surge pricing, age-based discounts.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of timing or demographics,
Mm-hmm.
companies tailor prices using individual behavior and inferred willingness to pay.
Man, so like how often you actually complete your transactions. Because I'm one of those online shoppers who will constantly put things in the basket, but very, very rarely will I make it all the way to the checkout.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Our willingness to buy is not so high.
It's very low. My friend knows that, but I will have to say to her, like, could you please buy this for me? Because I can't bring myself to complete the checkout.
And then you pay her back, I hope.
Yeah, well, if she wants to buy a gift. Nah, but I pay it back. Yeah.
Okay. So we have some real world examples. I think maybe 2 you wouldn't have known about.
Mm-hmm.
One is catching momentum. Maybe you will have known about this. Retailers allegedly charge more for identical products based on zip codes, browsing device, or demographic inference. For example, more for test prep services in Asian zip codes.
What is a test prep service? I don't know what that is.
Prepping for tests. Asians take it very seriously,
Okay.
so they're gonna
This
make
is
them
like
pay more.
pre an exam? Is that what you mean
Yeah,
by test?
yeah.
So before the exam.
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
Now, this is the one you may have heard of. Ride share pricing may differ, sometimes even based on the battery level of your phone. So they're like, wow, he's getting desperate because his phone is about to die. Let's just charge a premium because he can't shop around.
This is unbelievable.
And then the last one, travel sites may show steep hotel prices to users from affluent areas.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Charge them a lot. I don't care. For example, the Bay Area, I think that's in the States,
Yeah.
with identical rooms listed for less elsewhere.
Yeah. So then here's where we need the knowledge. Please give us the knowledge of how we can prevent this.
Okay. 2 of them you'll already know about.
Okay.
Clear cookies and browsing history.
Yeah, but so what? I have to clear it every day, every half hour, every time before I start online shopping? Like, how often do I need to clear my cookies?
I guess before you start online shopping. But the cookies are so helpful. Like, I love my cookies. They get me what I want, like straight up.
Okay, so clear cookies,
Okay.
right?
Use private incognito mode or
Yes.
VPNs. Maybe both. I would use both.
Oh, that'd be so interesting. We should do a test. Look for, I don't know, flights, some product, use a VPN from the US and then use a VPN from, no, I know, use a VPN both in the US, but one from like a northern state and one from a southern state and see whether or not it's the same price.
Yeah, if you live in the States, I'd probably just see if you can find the cheapest place.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Compare prices across devices, accounts, zip codes.
Wait, across devices?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, they're in everything.
Mhm.
Or ask friends in different regions. But I feel
Yes.
like your friend is going to tell you their different price, but how are you going? You'll have to ask them to buy it, I guess.
Yes.
It's not going to help much.
Well,
And then support privacy laws.
okay. I feel like that's actually not a bad one because maybe for the small things, like I'm thinking, oh, I need some new makeup for the summer or I need a new hair product. We might be talking like the price difference, €1 or two or $1 or two. So, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But for example, if we're buying flights, that could be a good one to ask somebody else to also have a look and compare the flat prices. Or I don't know, you're going to buy a car or maybe like a bigger purchase or something that's more valuable to the person,
Yeah.
that you could use the friends one.
Good point. Good point.
That's why I'm here, Jesse.
Huh? Yeah, you're the brains. So this actually just made me think of flights and an airplane company in the UK are going to test stand-up flights. But that's
Oh,
just a whole nother kettle of fish, and
yeah,
we won't talk about that, but
yeah.
crazy. So I just want to talk about the things that we'll bring in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
A fun one.
Yeah.
How have the Fast and the Furious movies changed the world?
And this is a good one, especially for AI, because change the world?
Change
The
the
world.
world.
Oh, okay. That's a big statement. All right.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be back real soon.
Mm-hmm.
This was a little bit of a buffer because we had a break. But for now, need knowledge, no time.
We out.